Side. Let's get more analysis on the situation now. Let's cross live to Manchester. Manchester United boss Jose Mourinho is back with us here on RT. Speaking to him is our Kate Partridge.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much, Peter. Yes, I'm here in Manchester, and yes, we're here with Jose Mourinho ahead of that semi-final between Belgium and France. Jose, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Well, the last time you joined us was the last 16 round, and quite a few things have changed since then. There have been some surprises, some shocks. What are your thoughts about how we've got to this stage now, to the semi-final stage over the last few rounds?
First of all, I have to get 10 seconds to say that I'm amazed with what happened in Thailand, and the heroes are there, are not in the World Cup. I'm sorry to say that, but the heroes are there. The kids, but especially the divers, everybody involved in the rescue, they are the heroes. For me, World Cup comes second. I'm sorry to say that, but we are here to speak about the World Cup. And I have to say, a funny World Cup. Lots of surprises, and I like good surprises in football. So I'm pleased with the fact that we are going to have a final that was not expected. We are going to have two semi-finals that, at least the second one, was not expected. We have the proof that in football many times the favorites don't win. Many times the teams with the big players, the players that everybody expect that they are going to win matches by themselves, that doesn't happen all the time. I'm also pleased with something that I used to say for many years in knockout competitions, which is the draw plays a very important part. One thing is to get an easy draw, an easier draw, not an easy one. Another thing is to get the draw that puts immediately big pressure on you. But looking to the semi-final, France-Belgium, we have to look to the quarter-final, and Belgium with a fantastic performance beat Brazil, and France with another very good, solid performance beat Argentina. Mm-hmm. So it's a big semi-final with two teams full of top players, and two teams that could play their second team and still be good. Could play probably the third team, the one that stayed at home by the manager decision. And they are really teams with lots of good players with a lot of experience, playing for the best clubs in the world, in the best leagues in the world, in the best age. They are not too young, they are not over 30. So I think in the end, France and Belgium, they deserve to be where they are. Belgium was very close to be out when they play against Japan. They were very close to be out. But I think in a crucial moment of the match, Roberto remembered that he had on the bench a player that can change matches, and Fellaini changed the match, and Fellaini changed the future of the Belgium national team. Japan was controlling the game well. Fellaini is a different player. He's a player that is very difficult to control in the box. Belgium started playing more direct, and then Japan collapsed. But obviously Belgium a much better team. France full of talent. Last Euro Cup, they also reached the final. So it's nothing new for them. So, you know, I'm really excited to see this semi-final, because I can't say if I consider any team 51% against 49. I can't even say that.
Well, looking at those teams, you've said there's a lot of attacking talent, there's a lot of midfield talent going forward. Both teams sparkle. Do you think then that the deciding factor will be the defence in this match?
There is one thing that people many times forget. You can only attack well if you defend well. You can only be offensive with lots of numbers if you have great defenders, if you are solid behind. Because if you are offensive and you are fragile behind, you are going to lose the match. And you look to both teams, and France has probably the best central defender in the world. I think Varane is a phenomenal defender. They are solid. The midfield is giving a great balance to the team. Pogba very positional. Matuidi more on the left, but positional defensively. Kante phenomenal defensive player. Good fullbacks. Pavard, Hernandez very good, solid left backs. France is defensively solid. Then they have all the talent with Mbappe, with Griezmann, with all these guys that can change a match, but they are solid. Going to Belgium, Courtois is phenomenal. I know I've been very lucky to have always fantastic goalkeepers in my teams. Courtois, Peter Cech, Julius Caesar, Bailly, De Gea. I had always the best goalkeepers in my teams. Courtois is absolutely phenomenal. And then sometimes playing with three, sometimes playing with a line of four, like it happened in the last match. But look who they are, the experience they have. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Company, solid midfield players positionally, Witsel, now with Fellaini too. They are very strong defensively. And the teams that are very strong defensively and they have very good defensive talent are the teams in better conditions to be offensive, to have flair, and then they have, for that, they have obviously some of the best players in the Premier League. De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, and look to the bench, Mertens, and look to the ones at home, Nainggolan. Is amazing squads. Didier with that team for a few years. He did the Euro with them. Roberto, last couple of years, but a manager with a good knowledge of these players, because he was a manager in the Premier League, and the majority of the players are Premier League players. For example, in the last match where he plays Lukaku from the right, is only possible if you know the player very well. And he knows the player very well because he was not just in the Premier League, he was also his manager when they were together at Everton. So Roberto was a good choice by the Belgian Federation, because not being Belgium, but he knows the players probably better than any Belgian manager. So I think two very good teams. Obviously everybody, including myself, we were thinking about Brazil, Germany, Argentina, all these teams to be here. But the reality is that France and Belgium to be here is not a surprise at all.
Belgium are missing Thomas Meunier because he's suspended. Do you think, given, as you said, with the strength and depth, that they will miss him?
You know, I think they will miss him because routines, because of confidence, because of they are playing well, because Meunier can play with three in the back and as a wing back, but he can also play as a back four, like he did against Brazil. Is an extra man in both boxes in the air, because he's really tall, he's good in defense, he's good in attack, and against France they need that. They need to be dominant in both boxes, because France has very good people also in the air. And you know, it was not a surprise for me, the goal that Brazil conceded against Belgium in the corner. I know was an own goal, but the difficulty of small Brazilian players to mark tall and strong Belgian players in the air. Then in the end they had doubts, man-to-man zone, who is going to the zone, so they put in the zone of the first post Fernandinho and Gabriel Jesus. They are not especially good in the air, but they had to keep Thiago Silva, Miranda to taking care of the Felainis, of the companies. So they were dominant in that aspect. By losing Meunier, they are going to lose one of them. But, you know, Dembele is coming to the team. I don't know if they are going to play with three, with Chadli on the right. I don't know if they are going to play Vertonghen, center defender, and Alderweireld right back, which is also a possibility, similar to what they did with Vertonghen playing left back. They can play with Alderweireld right back. And these are the kind of things that, again, I repeat, you can only do if the manager knows the players very well. And Roberto, by being in the country where the majority of the players are, he knows the players well, and he can manage that. Big semi-final.
Indeed, we'll wait to see till the teams drop. One final question before we go to the break, Jose. Looking over the form of the two teams as they progress through the tournament, it would seem that perhaps France have started perhaps slowly and sort of gained more momentum, whereas Belgium seem, depending on their opposition, more consistent throughout. Is one factor more important than the other across a tournament, consistency or momentum?
I think, again, the draws, they had easy draws in the group phase, both. Belgium had to play against England, but easy group. It was just first or second, and the meaning was nothing. They could go progressively, playing against Tunisia, playing against Panama, easy draws. The same happened with France. They were qualified even before the group started, and that gave them momentum, confidence, also kind of relaxed approach. They never felt the pressure. They start feeling the pressure now. Quarterfinal was a moment where they start feeling the pressure. You look, for example, to Croatia, what Croatia had to do to be here, the difficulty of the group phase, 2 extra times, 2 penalty shootouts. Croatia is tired. Of course, tomorrow they are going to get strength even from the grandparent soul, but they are tired. Belgium and France know, and they manage in the third match of the group phase to rest the players. They rest all the players. They played the ones that are not play, so I think they are fresh. I think they are strong, and I would be disappointed if the match is not going to be a big match, because it has all the ingredients.
It certainly does. I'm anticipating a big match as well. Thank you very much, Jose Mourinho, and hand you back to you guys in Moscow. Thank you.